What if someone could make you question your own mind until you can't tell what's real? That's gaslighting, and it destroys men differently. I know what I saw. I know what happened. But somehow, by the end of the conversation, I'm apologizing for being crazy. That's what Michael told me in our first session. He was a corporate lawyer, sharp, analytical, respected. But in his relationship, he becomes someone who couldn't trust his own memory, his own perceptions, his own sanity. He was being gaslighted. And like most male victims, he had no idea it was happening. Today, I want to expose how gaslighting works specifically on men, because the tactics are different, the vulnerabilities are different, and the destruction is profound. Why men are vulnerable? Society tells men they should be rational, strong, and unemotional. This creates a specific psychological vulnerability that skilled manipulators exploit ruthlessly. Men are taught to distrust their emotions. When a man feels hurt, anxious, or confused, he's been conditioned to question whether those feelings are valid. A gaslighter weaponizes this. They make him feel something, then convince him he's weak for feeling it. Men are also socialized to fix problems rationally. When reality stops making sense, a man's instinct is to find a logical explanation. The gaslighter becomes that explanation, positioning themselves as the voice of reason while systematically destroying his grip on reality. The 5-stage destruction. Stage 1. Reality distortion. It starts small. She denies saying something he clearly remembers. I never said that. You're imagining things. Or she refrains his memory. That's not what happened. You're remembering it wrong. The psychology. Human memory is imperfect, and men know this. When someone confidently contradicts their recollection, especially someone they trust, they start second-guessing. The gaslighter doesn't need to be right. They just need to be confident. Over weeks and months, he stops trusting his memory entirely. He starts recording conversations or keeping notes, which she discovers and uses as proof he's paranoid. Stage 2. Emotion invalidation. When he expresses hurt or concern, she responds with, "You're being too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're making a big deal out of nothing." For men who've been taught that showing emotion is weakness, this is devastating. He can't trust his feelings, so he starts suppressing them entirely. He becomes emotionally numb, which she then criticizes. You're so cold. You never show me how you feel. The trap is perfect. Express emotion, get invalidated. Suppress emotion, get criticized for being distant. Stage 3. Social isolation. She subtly turns his support system against him. To his friends, she's charming and reasonable. To him she says, your friends don't really get you like I do. Or she manufactures situations where he looks unstable to others. One client's partner would provoke him in private until he raised his voice, then call his mother crying about his anger issues. His own family started questioning him. Men's friendships often lack emotional depth, making this isolation easier. He doesn't have people he can talk to about these experiences. And if he tries, he's told, man, you're lucky to have her, or you're overthinking it. Stage 4. Identity erosion. By this stage, he's lost touch with who he is. His opinions, preferences, even his perception of past events, all of it has been rewritten through her lens. She will always been insecure about this, about something that never bothered him before. Or everyone knows you have a temper when he's typically calm. Repeat something enough while someone's reality is already fractured, and it becomes their truth. He starts introducing himself through her narrative. I'm not good with people, or I have trust issues, descriptions she implanted. Stage 5. Learned helplessness. The final stage is complete psychological dependency. He can't make decisions without her input. He apologizes reflexively for things he didn't do. He accepts blame for her behavior because she's convinced him everything is his fault. When friends suggest the relationship is unhealthy, he defends her. Not because he wants to, but because admitting he's been manipulated would mean confronting how completely he's lost himself. If you're experiencing this, here are the signs. You constantly apologize. You feel confused after conversations that should be simple. You've stopped trusting your own judgment. You're isolated from support systems. You feel crazy, but everyone thinks she's wonderful. The path out: first, document everything. Not to prove yourself right, but to have external validation when your memory is questioned. Second, reconnect with people who knew you before. They can reflect back who you were before the distortion. Third, understand that gaslighting isn't about occasional disagreements. It's a pattern of systematic reality denial that makes you doubt your sanity. Fourth, seek professional help. Recovering from gaslighting requires rebuilding your ability to trust yourself, which rarely happens alone. Michael eventually left his relationship. But 2 years later, he still occasionally catches himself apologizing for things that aren't his fault or questioning his memory of simple events. Gaslighting doesn't just end when the relationship ends. It rewires how you process reality. It teaches you that your perceptions can't be trusted, your emotions aren't valid, and your sanity is questionable. The cruelest part? Male victims often don't recognize it as abuse. They think they're just bad at relationships, too emotional, or going crazy. But you're not crazy. Your reality is valid. Your emotions matter. And recognizing gaslighting is the first step to reclaiming your mind.